Will Putin win with the food weapon what he couldn't win on the battlefield? Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. A serious global food crisis is growing because of Putin's invasion of Ukraine. That country exports a big chunk of the world's corn, wheat, barley, and sunflower oil. Asia and Africa are major markets. Ukraine also supplies 50% of the grain for the World Food Program, on which 125 million of the world's poorest people depend on for sustenance. Scarcity and rising prices threaten severe shortages for hundreds of millions of people. Some areas could face outright famine. Most of Ukraine's exports go through ports on the Black Sea, especially Odessa, which are blockaded by Russia, or as in the case with Mariupol, are now occupied by Russian troops. Not much of the foods Ukraine exports can go overland because of a lack of infrastructure. The gauge of its railroads, for instance, are different from the rest of Europe's. For starters, Putin has indicated that the only way any Ukrainian agricultural goods could be shipped is if sanctions are significantly eased or scrapped. But his posture is really a teaser. Ultimately, he is counting on this food crisis to have the rest of the world pressure the U.S. and NATO to force a favorable settlement in the war, whereby Russia is awarded a sizable portion of Ukraine. In other words, if Ukraine doesn't capitulate, arms shipments will be cut off. With this crisis, the U.S. and other countries should take a cue from what Herbert Hoover, who later became America's 31st president, did in World War I. In the early weeks of the war, Germany conquered Belgium and said it wouldn't feed the country's people unless Britain eased or scrapped its naval blockade of Germany. Mass famine loomed. Hoover, then a successful global businessman in London, put together a small team that organized the shipment of foodstuffs to Belgium on neutral shipping. Miraculously, they overcame severe diplomatic obstacles. Britain and Germany would examine the ships to make sure no non-food items were being slipped in. Hoover's team worked hard to stop any diversion of food to Germany. A similar effort should be organized now. Some 22 million tons of grain are sitting in Ukrainian silos ready to go. If Putin decided to block this life-saving effort, then the U.S. and other naval powers would be within their moral rights to use their warships to escort commercial vessels through the Black Sea to and fro Ukraine. Would Putin risk an ominous widening of the war by attacking these vessels engaged in such a humanitarian mission that would provide badly needed help to numerous food-threatened countries around the world? Not likely. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.